We all take eating for granted. We chew, then swallow, and don't give it much thought. But without it, we would die. For one little girl, eating has just never happened. 7-year-old Tia McCarthy has baffled the medical world. Born with a rare disorder, doctors performed a miracle operation, but to no avail. Driven to despair, Mum challenges the nation to find a solution.
Tia McCarthy is a medical mystery.
I have to try, I suppose. Otherwise, I'll never know.
And an offer of help leads them to a pioneering clinic using radical methods: starvation. This is the story of one incredible girl. Tia looks like an ordinary, healthy 7-year-old girl. But beneath the surface lies a medical mystery. She's unable to eat, and nobody can explain why. Her mother, Sue, is a single mum. Tia also has a little brother, Finley. No food has ever passed Tia's lips, despite the best efforts of her school.
Spoonful of cream, and you can play with my batteries, all right?
Put your head down.
You eat one of those for me first, please. Please. Oh, please, Tia. No way, why?
No way, Jose.
No way, Jose.
No way, Jose.
Oh, no, I never.
While everyone else tucks into their turkey, Tia is led away for her own special lunch.
Right, how many have we got left here?
2.
Yay!
Then we've got the last water.
Yep. No one's ever been able to say to me, this is the reason Tia doesn't eat. No one's ever given me that answer. I don't think anyone knows why she doesn't eat. And because of that, no one's ever been able to come up with any solutions, and I feel frustrated by all of that. Right.
Tia is plugged into a machine every night. It pumps liquid food through a tube directly into her digestive system.
This is the tube. This is where she gets connected to. It's it doesn't go into her tummy because her tummy's up here, isn't it? It's here.
Yeah.
But it goes into her duodenum. I can never say that right.
Soup.
That's where she had the operation, where they brought her tummy up into her chest.
You're together.
And so, yeah, so she gets attached at night and it all curls up, doesn't it? And it goes in a hole in there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tia was born 12 weeks premature with a rare congenital disorder that only affects 1 in 40,000 children. Long gap esophageal atresia. This means that the esophagus and stomach aren't connected, which prevents food from being swallowed. It can only be fixed with radical surgery. Pediatric surgeon David Burge performed the operation when Tia was just 4 months old. Her stomach had to be pulled right up into her chest. It's a highly specialized procedure that he's only ever performed on 10 other children.
The surgery itself is a big operation. What we have to do is to free up the esophagus and the neck where it joins onto the skin, as in her case. We then have to operate on the abdomen to dissect the stomach and free the stomach from most of its attachments. And then we have to bring the stomach up through the chest, into the neck, and bring it up beside her esophagus and join the two together.
All children with Tia's condition end up being fed by a tube. After the operation, most are able to eat normally within a year.
No explanation really has been found for why she cannot physically feed. All the plumbing seems to be in place for her to do that. The other operations I've done, they have all learnt to swallow, some of them extremely well, and eat large meals without a problem. But Tia's the only one that I've come across where the swallowing has not developed.
After extensive surgery to correct her disorder, her doctors agree that there is no physical reason why Tia cannot swallow. Mum's search for a cure led her to Great Ormond Street, the country's leading children's hospital. But even they couldn't explain why Tia won't eat. She's now in danger of being stuck on a tube for the rest of her life.
No one seems to have taken it seriously, apart from Tia's paediatrician and the surgeon, that she's 7 and not eating. people should have taken it a bit more seriously and thinking to themselves, well, it's getting a bit, drastic now. She's 7 years old. She hasn't put a thing in her mouth in 7 years. We need to seriously do something about it.
This is 5 News. Coming up in the next half hour...
Sue resorts to desperate measures and goes to the press with Tia's story in the hope that someone somewhere might have an answer.
Tia's trauma, the 7-year-old girl who's never eaten a thing. Tia McCarthy is a medical mystery. Astonishing to look at her. She looks a very, very healthy little girl, but she's never had anything at all to eat. Not a morsel of food's ever passed her lips.
Where's Finn?
On the back of her media campaign, emails of support start to come in. One in particular catches Sue's eye.
I've just received an email from a gentleman whose name's Oliver. His son didn't eat for 3 years, and they've went to a clinic in Austria, spent 3 weeks there, and he now eats normally. The clinic does have a 100% success rate. I encourage you to contact her. She can help.
The 3-week course at the clinic in Austria could be the answer to Sue's prayers. But the £10,000 fee is beyond her means. All Sue can do is apply for a place and hope. Tia goes to a special needs school. Sue believes Tia's premature birth and failure to eat have slowed her development.
She didn't sit up till she was very late. She didn't walk till she was 4 or 5, and then she had to walk with a Zimmer frame. She still doesn't walk particularly well. She can't really run. She stands strangely. She's still in nappies, and that isn't improvement at all.
But Tia is a happy child, which makes Sue's decision even tougher.
A lot of the time I've said to my friends, am I doing the right thing? She's happy, she's healthy, she's got weight on her. Should I just leave her to be the way she is and not try and get her to eat? But then I think to myself, and my friends say to me, she's missing out on an awful lot, and you owe it to her to do it. Tia, come in, please. Come on in.
Nothing.
Come in.
The email Sue has been waiting for has arrived. It's the best news she could have hoped for. Tia has been accepted for treatment. Because Tia's case is so extraordinary, the clinic has agreed to waive the fees.
Since we officially have the OK, we officially start treatment now. What you should know is Tia needs your emotional support. Some children come from Great Britain to Austria to learn to ski at that age and have never stood on skis, and after 1 week they are skiing their first race. Something similar will happen to Tia with us. She's going on an exciting holiday to learn something we are specialised in, and everybody learns it here. What are you looking forward to the most?
There's not a swimming pool there, is there?
The whole family has been invited to spend 3 weeks in the clinic. Tia doesn't know that the course will involve her being starved in order to induce hunger.
I think I need to put my boots on when it snows. Mama, get it. Hey! Hey!
Sue has wished for a cure for all of Tia's life, but the prospect of watching her daughter starve is more than she can bear.
Can you read your feet, please?
I'm going to put her through a lot of heartache, and I'm going to cry now. And I don't know why I'm doing it. I mean, obviously, whoever does the treatment is going to starve her. But she's going to go through a lot of heartache, and she's going to look at me and want reassurance, and I'm not going to be able to give it to her. But I've got to do it.
It's supper time in the McCarthy household, and for possibly the last time, Finn eats alone.
Don't be silly, you'll fall off the chair. 4 more.
Tia's unaware of what she faces in Austria, and like any other kid, is excited about going on holiday.
Mum, is this rainbow quite big?
At Austria?
Yeah.
I don't know, darling.
Or is it quite that small or that big? That's...
It'll probably be about the same size as the pool at your school.
Show me that.
Will it be bigger than
Will it
bigger than that? Or you
will
won't
it-
be able to get in,
will
will
it
you?
that size? Be that size?
Will it be bigger, won't it?
Or will it be that size? Maybe that size.
It'll be a big one.
I'm not in bed properly.
Put you on, and then it's bedtime.
The tube has been Tia's lifeline since she was born. If the 3 weeks in Austria go according to plan, they can get rid of it forever.
Night, night. I love you.
It's the day of departure for little Tia and family. Although the course has a 100% track record, Sue is not going without Tia's tube feed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This sustains her, and to say, well, don't bring it because, you know, she'll probably be eating. I personally don't think that after not eating for 7 years, she's going to come back eating 3 square meals a day.
Sue has been told to bring enough food for 2 days. Instead, going against the doctor's orders, she takes enough for 2 weeks. It's the trip of a lifetime for Tia, and it's the best chance yet of getting her to eat. Nowhere in England has been able to offer a solution, but in Austria they have a pioneering program specifically designed for tube-fed children, combining psychotherapy with a range of complementary treatments. Tia spent most of her early years in hospital, so Mum hasn't told her the full story.
I haven't told Tia that we're going to be in anywhere that's like a hospital. I've told her that we're going on holiday. And while we're away, we're going to see this lady that's going to try and teach her how to eat. And that's all I've said. She's not good on hospitals, and she gets a bit upset.
The clinic in Graz is a state-of-the-art hospital. Kids come from all over the world to be on this unique feeding program. It will be home to Tia and her family for the next 3 weeks. When they're taken off their tubes and starved, the children's health is monitored very closely. Marguerite and her husband, Professor Scheer, head a team of feeding specialists, therapists and nurses who will monitor Tia 24 hours a day. They've never had to treat a child as old as Tia before, so her age presents a special challenge.
She's unusual because she's in the top group of age. We would have wished that 6 months after stabilization of her surgery, she would have been sent for weaning. That would have been the period of life when we would have liked to meet her.
Hello. And what's going on in there?
That's her brother, wrecking the place.
I see. He's just looking.
He's playing with the doors.
I see.
Finn, say hello.
Hello, Ben. And you are here to learn how to eat, is that true? Fine, nice to meet you.
Thank you, and
See you
you.
the next days.
Hello. Nice to meet you, finally.
Marguerite is in charge of Tia's treatment. Before they can start starving Tia, it has to be established by how much Sue is prepared to reduce Tia's tube feed.
So how many hours less would you tolerate for the first step?
First day, I mean, I'm quite okay because she goes some nights without any at all if she's unwell, so I could tolerate quite a lot for the first night.
So you would even tolerate giving her nothing?
Yeah.
Good. And what would she say if we gave her nothing?
Not a thing. It wouldn't bother her.
Well, Tia, just listen to me. Mum and my suggestion is to try without tonight. Shall we do that? Okay. Tia knows that here everybody learns to eat, so let's just try.
Yeah.
Very good. We want to get Sue out of the feeding. That's exactly where we want to go to. Sue is not necessary to feed a 7-year-old child.
Most mums take 4 days before they allow tube feeding to be stopped. But Tia's program of starvation is started straight away. How long can she last with no food? 7-year-old Tia has never eaten. She's been fed via a tube, but her life is about to be turned upside down. Her mum has taken her to a children's clinic in Austria, where she will undergo a 3-week program of controlled starvation. She's just had her first night with no food.
Tia and her mum decided that we would try without.
Without what?
Because without any fluid in the night, she's fed on liquid only by night. Mum's nerves were prepared to try.
For a longer time.
Tia's starvation will go on until she demands to be fed, and as long as she isn't suffering. 12 doctors will be on hand at any time to ensure her health isn't jeopardized. It's a waiting game to see whether one little girl or 12 doctors give in first. Marguerite already senses Tia could be a tricky customer.
From a psychological point of view, we would call children who are little like Tia the kind of princess-terrorist mixture, who thinks that she rules the world.
Each day, Tia will attend play picnics to encourage her to eat by normalizing the touch and feel of food. The hope is she will copy the other tube-fed babies.
What Tia can very much sense is that here we have other children with her learning the same thing, or at a different level, but she's not alone. She's in a course.
Tia and Sue's relationship is under the spotlight. Cutting some of the emotional ties between mother and child is key to the success of the program.
Tia has to want to do it for herself and not to make mommy happy. That would be a result which I would feel uncomfortable with.
Is it okay when she sits there?
Eva is the physiotherapist. She uses craniosacral massage to release the stress that children often store in their bodies after surgery. Tia has been told that at any time she can stop the session. Eva is only applying the lightest of touches to release pent-up emotions.
When something happens to you, that can be in a good way or in a bad way, that doesn't matter, and you didn't work with it, it sits in the body. And if you put your hand on this place, you can remember things you didn't think of for a very long time.
Tia went through 6 operations to correct her condition in the first year of her life. Memories now come flooding back.
What happens with you when you see her crying? Should Mommy sit beside you? Tia? Yeah, okay.
Sue has been told to give Tia more space, but there are times when it's impossible for her to get the balance right.
Tia, I think maybe you could... No, it's okay. Maybe try now to do nothing. Okay. Yeah? Maybe that's the point. Not to do anything. Just be here. You can touch her if you want. Tia, okay?
Before they can reduce Tia's dependency on Mum, the team have to observe how they interact. So doctors announce that the whole family has to go for a walk.
You can put on your trousers. Yeah, because if Mommy is ready, she is going.
Eva is pushing Tia to find out what she's capable of doing without Mum's help.
She can undress herself. She's not brilliant at dressing herself, but she's just put those trousers on. And that top on. And maybe, see, I might just do too much for her.
It's important because she can do it, and if it's possible for her to do it, she should do it by herself. We don't have servants at home.
Then we're going to go out and finish. Do you want to play in the snow?
If it's wrong, you have to put it out once again.
You, Finn, are your hands okay? She won't, look, I've got little gloves, but you can't pick snow up then. You're going to walk that way back a little bit, yeah? Why? Because I can't carry you all that way.
At the rear of the group, Tia complains she's tired after just 2 minutes. Before long, she convinces Mum to carry her.
What's the matter? Yeah? What? Aren't you enjoying it out here? Just went down.
Are we going to go back?
In a minute now, we're going to go back to the building. It's just over there, isn't it?
Where is Professor Shea?
Tia, Cheer up.
Don't ask her too often. Enjoy also your little son, and you'll see things go easy. The first moment you don't do too much, things go easy.
I get the feeling they think I'm a bit soft on my daughter. Trying to toughen her up. She won't let go of me.
You don't know.
Hold someone else's hand.
You don't know. The problem is that the mother-child interaction is too close.
Here, let me go see Finley for a while.
For a while. And the mother has not really a lot of interests outside Tia. This happens in a lot of chronically ill children, that the parents become too close and don't see the individuality of the children. I think we are going to attack them as well. See? And your mom also already. And now we're going to this.
Completely cheered up now he's holding her hand. So she puts it on for the likes of me, I think. Maybe I'm too soft on her. She's smiling and joking now.
And then he'll be afraid. See?
My cup is always open, Auntie Mum.
Tia faces her third day with no tube feed. She's now at the stage when hunger and thirst should begin to kick in.
You get the kids so hungry and so thirsty, we call this the desert phase. They start licking whatever they get into their hand for the search of moisture.
Where's Finn? Have you seen your brother? No?
He's behind there.
Over here. Wow. She's just pouring water down it. No prawn. Have you tried that? You know that?
Some of the water Tia sips is going down, but Sue isn't convinced.
She's just doing this.
No.
No,
She's not. No.
No.
No. She is swallowing. She's doing this.
A little bit. That's enough. Yeah.
If you just watch this happen, she's letting about half out.
Oh.
But you're not allowed to watch.
Oh no, so I can't see.
So we can't see. So let us watch and you look the other way.
The team of doctors, paediatricians, therapists and nurses gather to review Tia's treatment at daily meetings.
How many days would you leave it for her just to drink water and if she doesn't do anything before you get...
She's fine. I don't get worried as long as she's so beautiful and lovely.
Okay.
And it will depend...
Jesus, it was 40.
Jesus.
So this is our utmost frontier.
It depends on what you drink. And if Tia gets to know the world of drinking, it goes from water to very wonderful Nutrini energy-like stuff and up to milkshakes. So people can live on only drinking. That's a kind of a different way of living.
Are we no pump again tonight?
No.
Okay.
She's tired, I think. Yeah?
It's Tia's fourth day without food. All she's taking is sips of water. On arrival, Tia was 23.5 kilos. Now, her weight is dropping fast.
It's day 4. Tia's gone from 22.50 to 20.85 kilograms. That's quite a lot then, isn't it?
Tia has lost 10% of her body weight in 3 days, which is what the doctors expect. Her weight loss shouldn't drop much further, as long as she drinks more than just water.
Is that what she's taking in now? She can't survive for a longer time. She's losing weight. The amount of food is too small, and also the variety of food is too small.
And how?
Another family has arrived at the clinic. Their child, Maxi, was born with the same condition as Tia. His parents have been through the same angst as Sue.
Well, they did the peg in her tummy when she was 1 day old.
Yeah,
and then they had to wait for her to be stronger for the big operation. Yeah. And then she had that when she was 4 months old.
And there she got the tummy up.
Yeah.
What she
did she do with her Selina?
They had a tube down her that was sucking out for 4 months,
horrible.
just stuck in her throat. And then she had the operation, started to suck small amounts of milk, but then she got bronchiolitis, got very ill, and that stopped. Nothing since. So I think if Tia had come here 6 years ago, 5 years ago, she would be eating now. I didn't know about this place, and if she'd been younger, it might be easier.
It's closer, so it's easier.
To persuade Tia to put food in her mouth, the team are becoming ever more inventive with their games.
Open it a little bit.
What I found today very interesting was this little boy, Maxi, who is 2 years old and has the same diagnosis. He is psychologically coming in, even though it's the first time in his life, more age-appropriate than Tia.
The team are unsure if it's Tia's age that's slowing her progress, or if it could be a deeper psychological problem. Tia's shown little interest in the food or with the children in the play picnics. Team psychotherapist Dr. Shine is going to run some tests.
What's this?
Cow.
Yes?
Goat.
Goat? You think it's a goat?
Cow.
That's no goat. That's a
Cow.
sheep. Yes. How do you call these pictures? It's necessary to get her out of her world, because she's in her world and with herself the most time of the day. She is happy in her world. You are not here. You are somewhere now. Come back.
Tia has now gone without her tube feed for 5 days and has not asked for food, as the doctors expected. Tia doesn't talk much, but with her teeth, she has another way of expressing herself.
She grinds her teeth an awful lot, especially when she's concentrating, and I think possibly it's quadrupled since we've been here. And I don't know if that's worry or malnutrition or what, but she's grinding her teeth.
By this stage, most kids would throw in the towel and demand to be fed. So Marguerite decides to lay it on the line.
Do you understand my English? Do you understand me? At some point, people also need food. Are you still listening? And today you have the choice, Tia, to try something else than water. And you can have a big choice. You can try milky things, chocolatey things, juicy things, all these kind of things, if you like to try. That's your choice. Or you can try things like puddings. And we're definitely not talking about the choice of feeding anything into the tube, okay? We don't want to do it, we don't think it's good for you, and we're not going to do it. So we need your help to make the next step, but it's your choice which step you choose.
Do you understand?
Yeah. Okay.
Doing a lot of this.
Yeah.
Making
Well, she's very uncomfortable because the hunger is getting awkward. Good. Okay. Ciao. Bye-bye.
What's the matter?
Oh, okay.
It's a battle of wills between Tia and the doctors, who are still hoping she'll cave in.
They still seem to think that we're going to reach this crisis point where she's going to say, put me on the pump and get the tube out. And I don't think that's going to happen because her tube goes into her duodenum and it doesn't go in her tummy, so it doesn't give her that feeling that the other kids get of getting satisfied. And she's not yet even mentioned the tube.
Tia just isn't responding the way other children do. Puzzled, the team discuss their next move, the removal of Tia's tube, or PEG.
The question we would like to speak about in the team is the question whether the PEG should be taken out
I think she should be taken out as soon as possible, because Tia doesn't do anything when you don't make a pressure.
And if there's no pack, she must eat. Yeah.
By removing the tube, the doctors hope Tia will realise that in order to survive, she will have to eat. But there's a little obstacle to their plan.
Tia, may I ask you a question? We would like to take the tube out next week. Would you think that's a good idea? Or do you want to keep it forever?
Keep it.
Why? Do you want to keep it in your body, or shall we put it in a bottle for you to look at?
Keep it.
Do you want to keep it in a bottle to look at?
No, keep it in.
Why do we need it there?
Because I want to keep it.
Hmm?
Because I want to keep it.
Why?
Because of.
The emotional meaning of the tube is so, the impact is so high that you can't be cautious enough. It's like taking somebody his walking stick away. Even if he doesn't need it, he'll feel he lost something.
Before the team can remove Tia's tube, Professor Scheer wants to be sure there is no physical reason she can't eat.
We assume that the swallowing is okay because she doesn't lose saliva and she can drink milk and liquid and whatever, but she doesn't start to eat.
Yes.
And so we don't know whether there is a physical problem which hinders her, or it's just a psychological situation whether she hasn't learned to eat properly.
Okay, then I would recommend to do an X-ray study when it's so long ago.
But how do we do it if she doesn't swallow this thing?
You can have a little drink, the magic drink, but don't start flying around the room when you've had your magic drink, okay?
Brave little Tia faces her biggest challenge yet. The team radiologist is going to check there isn't a problem with her swallow function that could explain why she isn't eating.
Okay, great mouthful, okay?
Big mouthful. You haven't got any in. You have to put it in, Tia.
So they can see where the fluid goes when she swallows, Tia will have to drink large gulps of liquid barium. A big ask for a little girl who's only just begun drinking water.
It was no mouthful, it was nothing.
It's very hard for her.
Tia struggles to drink enough fluid for the X-ray to pick up.
Yeah? Okay.
Her mum helps her to drink.
Soll sie schon swallowen?
Have you got any in there?
And swallow now.
Swallow.
And stop.
Yeah?
The images reveal Tia's stomach to be working properly, although it's pulled right up inside her chest.
You don't have to have them up there.
As to whether Tia can swallow or not, the test proves inconclusive.
The difficult news is that Tia's swallow mechanism looks better than it is. People can...
It's me off that England have not checked that years ago. I was told everything's fine. They haven't checked it for 4 or 5 years when they should have done.
Tia faces more tests as the doctors get closer to the cause of her problem.
Be nice to her. She's feeling tired.
7-year-old Tia has never eaten in her life. She's been fed via a tube straight into her digestive system. She's come to Austria to be taught how to eat in a program of controlled starvation. Tia has been a week without food, and while she's taking sips of water, she's showed no interest in eating. She remains a medical mystery. First she baffled British doctors, and now she's puzzling the Austrian specialists. They performed an X-ray test on Tia to check if she could swallow. The results proved inconclusive, so they're going in for a closer look.
Bye, Tia. Bye, see you on afternoon.
Using an endoscopic camera, they'll be able to check whether Tia's throat and stomach can swallow and process food. The camera heads down Tia's throat towards the top of her stomach. Tia's muscle reflexes that enable swallowing appear to be working normally.
It revealed that the original operation was done very excellently, and as far as her stomach can function, it's functioning very well.
The results of the endoscopy mean there is no physical reason Tia cannot eat.
When you just see your child lying there and you're just waiting for them to come round, it's a difficult thing to watch.
But Tia soon bounces back.
In an hour, she opened her eyes and she just smiled at me. And she said to me in a really hoarse voice, she went, "When are we getting out of here?" And I thought, oh, this is just Tia, you know, it was, my little girl was back.
Tia has to drink more calories if she's to sustain herself, so the doctors have taken water off the menu.
That's a really good girl. See, they'll let us go out if they see you're drinking lots of red juice, won't they? See, then when we go to a restaurant next time, you can ask for raspberry juice, can't you? Instead of water.
Do you want this?
No, you have that one. Finley's already had a glass of that already. Stop being silly.
No, I don't like it.
You don't have to touch it. Okay? Is that good? What are you doing with that one?
Drinking it.
You can have both.
After noticing she was in a world of her own, the team psychotherapist has run some tests on Tia and has come to a conclusion.
You know what a perception disorder is?
No.
I tried to explain. I try. You see, there are sensory difficulties, you know. She doesn't feel warm and cold like we do, I think. She likes to be in her own world, you know. She enjoys it. She doesn't need other people. She feels comfortable in her world. She does not like changes. She has difficulties with social interaction. She has difficulties with communication.
So is there anything I need to do differently than I'm doing?
You are very good. You're a very good mama.
Thank you.
And Tia is very happy to have such a mommy, you know? Very, very happy. It's all right.
The perception disorder, a mild form of autism, explains why Tia has failed to learn from the other children in the play picnics, a key part of the programme.
You do the best you can do.
Marguerite is now convinced the reason Tia won't eat is entirely in her mind. The tube is not just something Tia's fed through. Over 7 years, it's become a key part of her identity. It's what makes her special. Marguerite believes the tube, or peg, could be the last obstacle to getting Tia to eat.
I wanted to ask you whether we should, plan taking the thing out beginning of next week.
She's not eating, is she? She's only drinking.
What do you need to survive?
But would you be happy for her just to drink and then that?
At the moment, yes. I mean, I wouldn't mind her starting to eat. But if she goes home on milkshakes and caloric drinking...
If we go home and she's just drinking, the chewing and the swallowing obviously is the hardest bit, and I'm scared to introduce her that when I'm away from you. That's the hard bit, isn't it?
No.
The chewing, the swallowing, and
this big step she has done. Now, what goes in that mouth might still need a little time, but we don't need the peg for having somebody drink by themselves.
Sue isn't prepared to go without the tube altogether.
Are you a cat?
If they take it out and Tia fails to eat, then she'd starve.
You do that with your tongue? Oh, you have a good hole in you.
Sue and the team agree on a compromise. The tube will be replaced by a discreet button, which Sue can use to feed Tia in emergencies. The removal of her old tube is a huge psychological step for Tia. It's kept her alive for 7 years.
I've not seen this before, Sue.
No, this is the first time I've seen it. It looks just like I thought it would, like a thing from a blow-up ball.
I think it's okay.
Do you like it? It's good, isn't it? Do you think if I opened the lid, all the air would come out and you'd go whizzing around the room? Do you think you would? Like a ball?
You won't do that now.
Would you whiz around the room?
Now that the tube has gone, it's hoped Tia will realise that she has to feed herself.
I think you should.
The team carry on trying to get Tia to eat, and while some progress is being made, she remains as defiant as ever.
Do I have to?
To taste? Yeah, you have to taste.
Tia's had a traumatic couple of days, but her 3 weeks are nearly over. As part of the programme, Tia is expected to put into practice in the outside world everything the doctors have taught her.
Look, going all the way up to the top. It has been really emotional, and Tia is exhausted. Is this good or what?
Oh, we're going all the way up there.
Yeah. Although I've probably cried more these 3 weeks than I have in the last 3 years, I'm really glad I came, and I really feel that we've achieved something. I'm going home tomorrow feeling quite positive with the future. Pizza's coming. Dankeschön. Oh, look, there's that onions here. I'll get you a knife and fork.
You can ask for one. I can have that one with that on.
Yeah.
Not fair.
Yeah, Finley, you're gonna have some, don't panic.
It's a huge step forward for Tia.
Nice.
When we can get some more.
It's the first time this little girl has ever put food in her mouth.
She was picking the pepperoni off of my pizza and putting it in her mouth and sucking on it and sucking on a piece of onion. Isn't that nice? And not biting into anything, but it was all going in her mouth. Put your finger in it and lick it. Which was really nice to see. Try it. Her fingers were covered with salad dressing and she was licking her fingers, and it's things I've never ever seen before.
The course has been an overwhelming success. She may not be eating solid food yet, but Tia is drinking enough fluid to sustain herself without the tube.
Here's my fork, and where's my knife?
Everything she's doing herself right now. And from a nutritional point of view, I couldn't care less whether she's drinking or eating.
Although her progress has been slowed by her perception disorder, Tia has come a long way in 3 weeks.
There's a bear and there's a reindeer.
Can you see anyone skiing?
No, I think the bear's eating them.
It's time for Tia and her family to return home.
Okay,
So,
thank
Sie können
you.
schon kommen, Frau Schloffer.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll
Feel
keep
great
in touch.
and just enjoy your beautiful children.
Yeah, thank you. Say
Very,
bye then.
very sweet. No, there, she's fine.
See, I had these in the trunk. I'm leaving the trunk.
Sue makes a confession to Eva, a secret stash of tube feed hidden under the bed. But she never used it.
It's like if you come from a developed country to Africa where you don't have anything, something like this.
I'm a bit sad to be saying goodbye and losing the support that I've been getting. Part of me obviously wants to go home and desperate to get back to home, and a part of me just doesn't want to leave this place. I wish I could put it in my suitcase and take it down to Hampshire and have it down the road from me.
When Tia was last in school, she was being fed through her tube. Now she's sustaining herself. An incredible change for an extraordinary girl who just 2 months ago doctors in the UK believed would be on this tube for the rest of her life. Tia's now a big fan of smoothies, and her school have a special programme in place to prepare her for eating solids.
Can I have more chips?
Do you want some ketchup?
No. What's that you're eating? Chips. Why you got loads of chips? Because I love chips. Thousands. I wish I had a whole bowl.
As to when she'll take her first bite, that's entirely up to Tia.
I think she'll surprise us all again. I think, like she has done from the beginning, it'll just happen when Tia wants it to happen, and I'm just going to encourage her, and one day I think that she will just put something in her mouth and give it a go.
Bit louder. That's a good girl, nice and loud.
I do believe most wholeheartedly that she will eat, even if it takes another 6 years.
Can they stay there till we get the picture of the elephants right up high?
I'm very proud of having a daughter like Tia, because with everything she's had up against her, she's still got this fantastic personality. She can still smile at the end of each day. I couldn't be prouder about her, really. She's a wonderful little girl. I'm crying now.